oh boy, I sure am enjoying my time in Kitakami. I hope there are no evil teams to ruin my day. Well, I definitely got my wish, but these dudes, these delinquents right here were a bit of a thorn in my side. So beyond the main story of the Teal Mask expansion, which definitely has some evil villains, one of the side quests you can take is challenging the Kitakami Ogre Clan. You first get wind of them from a man standing at the entrance of Kitakami Hall, and I was flabbergasted when I read the name. Are these a bunch of ruffians that need me to straighten them out and bring peace to the village yet again? And no, as mentioned, they're really just a bunch of trainers who are part of this side quest gauntlet. But I enjoyed the experience, so let's talk about them. So the Kitakami Ogre Clan are a group of powerful trainers that can be identified by the ogre pawn masks they wear. Obviously a very dangerous group. I'm gonna need to kill her without remorse. What I do like about them is that they have teams of high-level Pokemon with some actual competitive movesets and held items, as if the main story wasn't challenging enough. I haven't really gotten into a grind for Scarlet and Violet's post-game, and I don't have a lot of my own Pokemon that are ready to jump into online battles, but I grabbed my highest level creatures, which just so happen to be some of my favorites. Go figure. Anyway, the first trainer I challenged had a team of all fairy types. They looked scary on paper, but thankfully my Pokemon were a little stronger, so I didn't have too much trouble, though I wasn't about to let them off easy. I brought my Sneasler with Brick Break, so I was ready for the sneaky light screen. I've gotta say, it's kinda cool seeing Grimmsnarl as one of the Pokemon here because it fits the aesthetic so well. The first battle felt a little longer because some door-to-door scammer came to my house while I was recording footage, so thanks a lot, pal, you delayed a Gator X video. The second trainer was hanging out in a cave at Apple Hills with an electric Pokemon team. Finally, a chance to bring out Blood Moon Ursaluna and eat up any electric moves, and she came prepared for ground types. Also in the small cave, there were a bunch of Geodude who were really aggressive for no reason and kept hanging around my feet during the battle. So the moment it ended, I was sucked into combat with it. Oh man, I hate that the entire overworld doesn't just pause the battles anymore. Also, if you were wondering if these trainers had anything unique to say, the answer is no. Aside from having different names and models, which are really just variations of the new delinquent trainer class with the ogre mask on their face, they're basically all the same. They practically have the exact same dialogue. But I'm gonna give them the points for how the trainer class looks in this generation, 10 out of 10. The next trainer I battled used a rain team. I was pretty ready for almost every Pokemon, except I forgot that Swift Swim was an ability. Ludicolo and Basculegion were not playing around today. Next was supposed to be this trainer on one of the cliffs of Oni Mountain, but I accidentally explored the caves looking for him. I did see a funny looking Snorunt rocking the Gator X thumbnail border blue, so I caught her with a crit capture and might just evolve her into a Frostlass someday. Anyway, after my good luck, I did find the trainer I was supposed to, and he began the battle with an Napalm throwing out Technician boosted Fake Out my dude. And then after that, he had some bulky normal types and a floating mouse hold that almost took me out with Population Bomb, but I was able to hold on. The next member had a Sun team, and I was really getting into the whole battling somebody with a cool gimmick until Shiftry with Chlorophyll came in. Halfway through the battle, I remember that Walking Wake actually liked sunlight, and the goodest boy was able to sweep the last few Pokemon. The next member I battled said something about glaciers in his intro message, and then he sent out a Carbink, and so I was lost. He did later bring out a Frostlass and Mamoswine, but I didn't really see how the rock Pokemon go with the ice types in terms of the theme. I mean, they are useful, but the Golem had Sandveil and the rest of the team had no means of setting up Sandstorm. I think he's a little confused. The next trainer is probably one of my favorites because to reach her you need to go to the top of Oni Mountain and then go inside a cave that drops you all the way down into this little cavern. Thankfully there's no fall damage in this game. Anyway, she had a team of fighting Pokemon that all had powerful moves and good coverage, but by this point I was a pro at dealing with them. Finally, we can return back to the guy who originally told us about the Ogre Clan, and he gives us some rewards. If you've been doing the post-game grind of Scarlet and Violet in the almost year that it's been out, you probably already have a decent amount of these items already, or at least access to them. So they might not be all that rewarding, but for someone like me, they'll come in handy. Apparently though, there's a known bug that's part of this event where some players aren't getting the rewards because the game isn't counting the defeated Ogre Clan members as actually being defeated. And you can't rematch them, so that kinda sucks. Game Freak is aware of this, but the patch to fix it won't drop until October, so that's pretty unfortunate. This group of trainers is actually broken, but not in the way that you would have expected. Again, I feel the biggest advantage to this event is that you have some extra battles against some pretty challenging opponents, some of the highest levels for NPCs that we've seen in a Pokemon game, which is very welcome. Great way to get some more experience and money, also having something extra to do in the DLC. But I'm talking about this event as if it's already over because, big surprise, the guy who told us about the Kitakami Ogre Clan in the first place was actually the leader the entire time, and he's got a team of Ghost and Dark Pokemon that put up a pretty good fight. Seeing an NPC with a Dusclops holding an Eviolite will give me nightmares for at least a week. but I beat him. Afterwards, he says that the little challenge is something that the trainers of Kitakami do around the time of the Festival of Masks, as it would help young trainers improve their battle skills. But they don't know how to hold back, so the protagonist is actually the first trainer to defeat all of them. While that's a nice sentiment, I think it might have been a cool idea to have them actually be a group of troublemakers that you need to defeat rather than just extra battle practice. They don't need to be super involved in the story or dastardly evil, but I feel like giving them a little more purpose would have been cool. With Kitakami being its own little region, there's a power vacuum that anyone could fill, and the setting of a small village is a perfect place for a small-time organization to be some kind of antagonist, especially because the legendary storyline here was pretty small scale and personal, and they could be solved by a group of kids. A good way for legendary Pokemon and villainous teams to be disconnected that would work in a more condensed setting. Though for what they were, I like the idea to bring some more to the mini region that makes me want to stay here even longer. But let me know what you think about the Kitakami Ogre Clan and if you had a decent challenge in defeating them. Which team was your favorite and were you affected by the glitch that actually prevented you from completing the whole thing? Leave a comment down below. Anyway, I've got to get back to patrolling the village and keeping things safe as the new unofficial champion of Kitakami. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators, Cheeseburger Lasers, Justin R, Cosmo Zero, Lil Swiss, Meme Supreme, Mochizuki Yoru, Nomad Nobi, Phantom, Quago, Taijirai, Volity, and Pastel Blood. If you would like to support, get your name shouted out here as well as access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this has been GatorX, I'll catch you all later.
Are you ready to advance? Then choose 2 Pokemon instead of 1.
All right!
Combine their powers together, and you're ready to battle at a whole new level.
Let's go!
Pokemon Advanced.